Alright, we are in the proper voice channel now.
Sick.
Hello.
I guess this better just work as it is, I hope. So I can relax for a half hour, but things they look visible. You can hear everything.
Yeah. ZBM.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
My favorite.
It's going to say ZBM, but it's actually Jumpy.
Fooling the entire Spyrothon fan base as we speak.
There was no not ugly way to fix that on the layout,
I know,
so
it's all good.
I don't think anyone actually cares.
Except ZBM.
Yeah.
Jumpy's picture's a little saturated, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. I'll fix it on
CBM's name is
the
being
title anyways.
besmirched by the Jumpyluff. Just like, if you get a really bad run, just say it was ZBM. And if you get a really good run, then you can be like, oh wait, it was actually Jumpyluff all along. Wow.
But then make sure to submit, if it's a 24, make sure to submit it under Dom's name.
ZB Luff.
Oh, yeah, video. So that look better.
CB. Luff.
Alright, so I think this is good to go then.
I hope I didn't load up a fireball save. I genuinely can't remember.
Alright, so I guess just whenever you guys are ready to count down, I'll start it.
I think it's fine. I'm ready.
Good to go.
You good, Jumpy?
Yes, I'm good.
Alright, so you guys count down.
Jumpy's audio, if you can.
Yeah, I like his voice audio, or
Yeah.
that's on his end. I don't think I can change that, but
Yeah, we'll just have to roll with it, honestly.
yeah, his
Oh,
is
yeah.
a really
Wow.
wonky backup thing we just did. So.
I'll try and
I'm
make up
doing
for
my
some
best,
commentary.
I'm sorry.
It's all good as long as we have them running. All right, well, we're ready. I think.
Alright, yeah, countdown. No.
Oh, me?
3, 2, 1, go.
There we go.
Cool.
We're good. We're off.
Alright, so yeah, this is 14 Talisman. This is the old any percent run before Gulp Skip was found. You probably saw that a bit earlier. I think a couple of runs used it, but the goal of this obviously is just to get 14 Talismans, which are the end of level things that you get in Glimmer and the first two homeworlds. And then from there, you basically just skip into Ripto, the final boss. So it's a little bit arbitrary, but it's kind of a legacy category, and a lot of people, it's still the most popular category in Spyro 2. So I believe both Jumpy and V-Snake are doing the same routes, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm doing
Yeah.
theater.
Theater. Okay, cool. So yeah, you'll see that there's a couple of different routes you can do. They're going to be doing the faster of the two. There is a slightly faster one you can do with a waterfall proxy at the end of the run, but no one's insane enough to do that. So, but yeah, so most of this run is going to be rushing through a lot of the levels to get the end of level talisman, with collecting some gems along the way. Because there's two places you'll need to use gems to unlock levels, and that is Zephyr and Shady Oasis in Autumn Plains. So you need, you need gems to unlock those. Normally you would have to buy Swim, but they don't particular out. So, yeah, this is the first level outside of Glimmer. Obviously, you've seen Glimmer before, so I didn't really talk much about it. And oh, nice. Jumpy actually got the Beetle proxy. I think, yeah, V-Snake seemed to have missed it, unfortunately. But yeah, so that allows you to skip pretty much straight to the end of the level, which is pretty neat.
Thank you.
It saves you having to go, like, you usually would have to unlock a whole bunch of doors. Wow, that was a good proxy V-Snake. It was pretty high. Yeah, it saves you having to, like, flame enemies and then they unlock doors and go through the level normally. So even if it takes a couple of attempts, I think it still saves a little bit of time. Maybe not on V-Snake's side, but
I'll make a comeback.
Hell yeah.
That's the thing with Summer Forest, is that in this route, Summer Forest is very, very precise with all the proxies we use and the difficulty of them at times. So
Yeah, Summer Forest, in this particular route, Summer Forest is probably the hardest part. Like, the start of the run is very, very hard, and yeah, it's just a bunch of really, really hard levels. Colossus is kind of a nice break after getting Beetle, but then you have I have Horikos, and that can, yeah, Horikos Sunny Beach Aquaria is still stuff that can go quite wrong, particularly Sunny Beaches. You'll see
It's been called the Gauntlet before. I think by
the Gauntlet.
it
Yeah.
pretty much is, yeah.
So yeah, yeah, Colossus is pretty simple. Just run to the end of level, get the Talisman, and yeah, straight into the portal.
Oh, bad Yeti RNG too.
Oh, the double roll.
It's all good.
Yeah, I don't think the Yeti ended up being RNG. I think it is based on like proximity.
I
but,
think it has to do with how far you go to the left as well. I almost
yeah,
bumped
it's
into
something
this.
like that. At Nuantox, he's testing it and he's sort of somehow figured out bits and pieces of it. But yeah, like ideally you want the Yeti to roar only once. It saves a couple of seconds, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, so because you don't buy swim, normally you would have to swim to get to the next area of Summer Forest here. But as you saw Jumpy just do, you can just go out of bounds and around, and it saves you having to swim. So you don't need to buy swim. You just go straight into Horikos. Nice. And Horikos is pretty cool as well. I think you'll be doing... Oh no, Jumpy is not doing the strat. Oh, okay, yeah. So Jumpy's
a few months.
yeah, that's fine. Hopefully, we'll see V Snake do it. There's a couple of different ways to do this level, so
A little concerned about it, but yeah.
yeah. Jumpy just did the normal way. It's a little bit slower, but he gets a few extra gems, so it's not all bad. V Snake is going to do. There's a way you can clip into these like pushing platforms, and he got it first try. And then you can sort of just jump around and go straight to the end of level. It saves a decent amount of time, but yeah, you do sacrifice a few gems. Now, Sunny Beach. Now this is a level. Once again, don't have swim. This is a level very based around water. So you need to have swim. Like casually, you would need to have swim going into this level to even complete it. But it turns out you can proxy off the turtle head here. And you need quite a high one because there is a skylight effectively in the roof that you have to. That's the only place that is not solid that you can get out of. And obviously that's quite. Oh wow, third try. That's really good from Jumpy. So you can get stuck there for a very, very long time. So third try is very, very good. And yeah, that allows you to skip to the end of the level without having to obviously use the swim.
Hopefully I don't get
Snake's
blocked.
getting...
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, he got it.
Fourth
Cool,
try.
cool. Yeah. So that's very good. Like I said, that's
What?
it's one of those levels that you can just... It's very, very easy to get reset.
Oh my
But it's
god.
very reset heavy for sure.
Thank you.
That door skip would not work.
Same with the
Oh
Korean
my
tower.
goodness.
It's my nerves, I think.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
gonna minimize the Spyrothon thing.
I guess because Summer Forest is so hard that like having all these really, really hard tricks, you get to Aquaria Towers, and while Sheet Proxy isn't too hard, it's like you have this, you know, oh my god, I'm about to get out of Summer Forest finally, and it's kind of, I guess, a bit of nerves comes into it, and when that happens, it's very easy to overthink and miss the proxy. But Jumpy got it first try, so didn't get the from the floor, but that's fine.
Good thing is I'm way over gemmed, so
So yeah, the way Aquaria Towers works, it's kind of weird. Like you can very easily just double jump up to where the end of level guy is that gives you the talisman. But if you talk to him straight away, won't give you the talisman. Like it's triggered by hitting the last button in the room to fill up the water. So you have to actually go down, hit that button, fill the entire level with water. And because the game thinks you should be swimming, despite not actually having bought swim, it will still put you in the swimming state because you should be swimming at that point anyway, because the entire level's filled with water, so why shouldn't you be?
All right.
So yeah, so they both got first try sheep, which is good. So the Summer Forest can go quite a lot worse, so that's I'm sure that's quite a weight off both their shoulders that they got out without
And doing
relatively
the
too much
swimless
hustle.
route for this category, it only really affects only Summer Forest because we don't really use swim at all in Autumn Plains.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not really gym routing's easier either, because the routing also changes for theater. So
yeah, for sure. Because you don't need, like, normally you would buy gems, would collect gems to buy swim, so you need 500 for swim. So you don't need those 500 gems because obviously you don't buy swim. But
oh my god.
in the process, you obviously miss quite a lot of gems as well, because you don't do all of Sunny Beach, and there's quite a few gems in there. And just in general, you just skip a lot of gems that you would normally get. So the routing is still very, very tight on gems. If you're not careful, you can be under getting to Zephyr and Shady. So you have to really pay attention. Alright, so yeah, Crushes, I think it's already been described quite a few times. So. Very simple. Should go the same way every time. I think V-Snake had a little bit of trouble, but
because I was short on sparks.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like a lot of Summer Forest has a chain reaction effect to it. If you get hit in Aquaria by one of the Zapper guys, then it kind of makes Crush a little more
yeah, for sure.
harder, awkward, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, Crystal Glacier. This is not an easy level. There's a couple of tricky jumps in this. There was the walking double jump. Oh wow, is he gonna get this? Looked really good. Yeah, good. That was a good one from Jumpy. That walking double jump is not easy. But yeah, so there's quite a few hard jumps in that one. So there's a walking double jump right at the start. Another walking double jump glide that sort of pops you up. And then
oh dude, I think I got it.
That jump that Jumpy did is the hardest of a few jumps that you can do. Oh, V-Snake looks like he's going to get it as well. There's a few different ways. Yeah, both of them got it first try. That's really good. Yeah, there's a few different ways you can get up to that platform. That is the quickest, and also I would say the hardest, because you need a very, very good walking double jump, and there's not much platform to stand on that bone. So yeah, very, very good Crystal Glacier from both people.
I left behind the 25, but that won't matter too much.
Mm.
Usually for the other route, for buying swim, you pretty much have to get every gem you can that's on the way. For this, you can kind of afford to miss a couple up to Zephyr. But then the route should most likely return back to normal when going to Shady. Also, I'll be going for a semi-hard trick in Zephyr. I think Jumpy will go for it too, but...
Cool. Yeah, so Zephyr again, double jump to get onto some scenery that... not all of that scenery is solid. There's only like a couple of parts there that are actually solid, so you have to know where you're double jumping. Oh, good. And yeah, that gets you about halfway through the level, and then you just sort of go to the end, break open the door, and get the Talisman. Pretty simple stuff.
Oh, I don't think it hit. Okay, yeah, it did.
Wow!
And Skelos, I believe, the fastest level of the run. There's a recurring theme in this game, or just in the Spyro, I guess particularly this game, is that they like to build these levels sort of in a loop or a circle. So you start sort of at one end of the circle or loop, and the level just loops around and does a U-turn. And the end is basically right next to the start, but generally they make it so you can't, like they have these high ledges, so normally you wouldn't be able to get straight to the end of the level, but with the double jump you can, it makes it very, very trivial, so you just go straight to the end of the level. And Skelos and the next level, Breeze Harbor, in fact, are both very good examples of why you should not do that.
I think Aquaria Towers is like the perfect example of that as well.
Yeah. It's
Are
like,
you going
the end of level is literally above where you start.
Are you going for Massless Jumpy, or did you go for it?
No.
He's
No? Okay.
plus.
I got Hoverless and Skelos.
So yeah, Breeze Harbor, start of the level, you can go straight to the boat here. And normally you'd have to flame the two little campfire things to, like, it sort of hovers the boat up so you can get up there, but again, double jumps make it very trivial. Just speak to the end of level guy, get the talisman. Another very, very short level. Alright, so after Breeze, normally to get to the second part of Autumn Plains, you would have to climb, and there's a bunch of ladders. And yeah, V-Snake just got Masterless as well, so there's a way you can get to the end of level guy without doing that second jump up to the mast, but it's not too hard, but it was a bit sketchy, but it is a little bit precise, especially if you know what to do. Yeah. But yeah, so climb skip is used to save having to buy climb, because that's expensive. You don't want to waste the gems that you've collected, because you still need to unlock Shady Oasis. So with a series of jumps, you can basically just skip having to buy the climb, which is very, very convenient. I believe it's used in every single category, except for 100%. But even then, I think, yeah, it's used for gulp skip, but yeah. Yes, it's used in like every category. It's very, very useful.
Okay, looks like I won't need the bottles.
Scorch, another very good level to show off how not to design levels. Because they just put it, again, it's another U-turn level. Just double jump right to the end, get the talisman, and like...
Catching up.
Fracture Hills is one of the only, I think, one of the two levels you have to do the intended way. I think that and Shady are the two you have to do intended. There are 6 satyrs you have to free, which then unlocks the final room that has the fawn in there that gives you the talisman. While you can skip into this final area, nothing is loaded properly. So you can skip into there, and the baskets and the fawn are there, but the fawn will not give you the talisman. The baskets aren't loaded until you free all of the 6 satyrs and break open the parts from the mountain. So unfortunately, you do have to do this the intended way. I got eaten by the bush. Those bushes are pretty ruthless sometimes. They can get you from very, very far away.
Oh, good. Okay, I got the third quick satyr. Or not quick skip, but the glide.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, there are little bits and pieces you can do to optimize this. Like you saw on the third satyr on V-Snake's screen, you can sort of just clip the edge of the satyr and then glide down. And obviously you can do what V-Snake did there on the fourth one as well, where you can flame the satyr and then sort of glide down towards the next satyr while the cutscene is playing for the fourth one. Saves a little bit of time. One other thing worth mentioning as well is that all 6 of them, you are able to skip, like you can save very little amount of time by getting what we call quick skips. So there is a way to bring up their text box a little bit faster. I think it saves about a second with every one you get, or a little under a second. But no one knows exactly how to do it. We know that basically the best way to get it is to just mash start and X and hope that you get them. So I don't know if anyone's got 6 out of 6 quick skips, but I know a few people have gotten 4 and 5. I think V-Snake's gotten 5 before. So,
Yes.
but it's not consistent at all. You just kind of hope.
Dude, I'm just missing all these
yeah.
vases.
So there's a door there that the professor guards to get to Magma Cone. That you need orbs to unlock. Obviously, you haven't collected any orbs, but just double jump out the side and around the door, and easy peasy. In Magma Cone, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just various amount of double jumps. The only thing worth mentioning is the Superfly jump at the end. The jump you just did. Free 2 enemies, so you have to make sure you free 2 enemies before you go to the volcano area to activate that power up. For whatever reason, it only needs 2 enemies to activate. And then if you do effectively just the double jump inputs, you get this really, really high Superfly. And normally the Superfly is capped at a certain point, so you can't just like fly up to the top. Normally you would have to climb up the volcano and jump around, and it's very long and very annoying, and you get hit by boulders, and it's just a bad time. But with a Superfly jump, you can go higher than what the game thinks you should be able to, or what the game intends for you to get, and you can just go straight up to the volcano and trigger the ending cutscene. So yep, obviously get V-Snake's a little ungemmed, but that's fine. Has to get a couple of extra gems around Magma, and then obviously you need 400 gems to unlock 80 is the other level that you have to do as intended, because this is an escort mission. Once again, there is a way to get straight to the end of level area where he would normally, what's his name? Shorty would normally give you the talisman, but because Shorty's not there, you have to escort him through the level. There's really no point in 14 tally. So what you have to do, basically go through the level and flame the berry trees, and he eats a berry. He gets big, breaks down the doors, and then gives you the tally at the end of the level. Simple stuff.
Okay.
No Shorty proxy. Feels bad, man. But yeah, so this is the very last talisman that you need. After this, they're going to get warped to Gulp, which is the second boss. Again, you've seen Gulp a few times already, but I'll explain briefly sort of how it works. Gulp is a little bit dependent on RNG. Obviously, he can be better just by playing better, but he has 3 different or the vultures that drop the weapons, that drop the eggs that have weapons in them. There's 3 different weapons that they can drop. There's barrels, bombs, and there's rockets. The very first hit of Gulp will always drop barrels, the second hit will always drop bombs, and the third hit will always drop rockets. The idea of this is to try and get as many double or triple hits as possible, because you can hit Gulp more than once in a single turn, which obviously is not... You can do. It's not. I don't know if it's intended or not, but it's obviously the fastest way to do it. Ideally, you want to get double barrels at the start, because if you hit Gulp twice, then you can completely skip the bomb phase, which is the second hit. And yeah, Jumpy got double barrels, which is really, really nice. He got some good luck there with the barrel drops. It's obviously completely RNG where they spawn, how quickly it takes for them to drop. And after the third hit, which is the rocket phase, what weapons spawn is completely RNG as well. So
RNG.
You have to kind of really be on your toes for this fight. And yeah, double rockets, obviously you can get a double hit as well, which is nice. So double barrel, double rocket is like an easy 4 hits at the start. And yeah, nice. V-Snake got double barrel as well. That's really good. Yeah, Jumpy's getting some pretty good RNG right now. So yeah, you ideally you want to make sure you get at least double hits from these. A 5 cycle is considered usually a very, very, reasonable fight. Okay, yep. So, the only sort of weapons you don't want to drop, like you can always work out with something like if it's a bomb and a barrel, or a bomb and a rocket, or a rocket and a barrel or something. You can always work out something like that. The only way you can't do anything with double hits is if you get triple bombs, because there's literally no way to get double hits with only bombs. So, which is kind of unfortunate, and it does happen on occasion. And yeah, it was actually really, really solid gold fight from Jumpy. It was a 5 cycle, and it was played very, very well.
Should work.
No worries. So this is Winter Tundra. Oh yeah, good. Penguin proxy as well. So another proxy. Almost fucked it up. Yeah, so you can you penguin proxy into Dragon Shores here. So how portals work in this game, when they're not active, they're stored directly underneath where they're supposed to be. So Dragon Shores, because Dragon Shores only opens when you complete, like when you beat Ripto, and obviously you haven't done that yet, the portal is stored directly underneath. And the reason you get into Dragon Shores, there's a couple of things you need. One is this fireball power-up that Jumpy just got, and that just makes fighting Ripto pretty trivial and not RNG dependent at all, like the fight is supposed to be. And the second is because they don't have swim, because they didn't buy swim, and swim is needed to... Oh no, that's unfortunate from Jumpy. Because swim is needed to skip into the final boss, to do the final trick to skip into the final boss, they need to go into the theater here, which normally only unlocks once they've collected 10 tokens in Dragon Shores. Oh no, okay, that looked too low. Okay, that's good.
That wall is very difficult.
But yeah, so you go into the theater, and the theater basically shows all the cutscenes that the game has to offer. And that includes the Ripto defeated cutscene, which for whatever weird reason, it decides to give you all of the abilities that you haven't bought, and it unlocks all money bags instances as well, although that's not relevant for this run. But basically what that means is that gives you the swim ability that you didn't buy back in Summer Forest, and that's needed for the final trick, which is the swim into Ripto. So yeah, go up the stairs, up onto the mountain here, get out of bounds, and there is a swim trigger. Hopefully he will get.
Oh my god.
Yep, first try as well. So Jumpy gets swim in air. The swim plane extends out further out of bounds, so if you can get out of bounds on certain swim triggers, like if you can get out of bounds and go towards a certain swim trigger from out of bounds, because they extend out a little bit further than normal, you can actually get a swim in air effectively, which is what you saw there, which is really cool. It's used pretty prevalently in Spyro 2 and 3, actually. It just allows you to go pretty much anywhere you want out of bounds and straight into the Ripto fight without having the 40 orbs required to unlock the door is very, very nice. So yeah, the reason you get Fireball, as you probably saw, the first 2 phases of Ripto, very, very trivial. Normally this fight is even more heavily dependent on RNG than Gulp is. Also, Jumpy's just about done. Yeah, Jumpy just finished. So
okay, I'm about to enter Ripto. So
yeah, so we can watch V Snake do the Ripto fight as well. So you got swim in air as well. Yeah, that was pretty solid run actually from Jumpy. What was that? Damn, yeah.
26:49 by normal timing.
Spyro.
Yeah, that was sick. anything sub 27 is like really, really solid in a marathon. Sure. But
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, obviously you can see with these first two phases, normally you'd have to pick up a bunch of orbs that drop around, and if you collect 3, they give you a power up that you can use to damage Ripto and Mecha Gulp here. But the fireball, turns out you can just damage with the fireball, so you don't have to wait for any drops in any of the RNG. You basically just like spam fireball and he goes down very, very quickly. And the third phase is exactly the same as how it's supposed to be. The game gives you this like infinite flying and fireball power up to be able
time's
to
coming up.
beat Ripto. So it's all just about
Okay.
optimizing.
Time.
Nice.
So that was still 27, maybe? No, it wasn't. It was a 28.
It was just a 28, yeah.
Damn. It was Ripto.
Very, very good from both runners. Like to be able to consistently get between 26 and 28 range is very, very good, considering how poorly the start of the game and the end of the game can go. It's very, very well done from both runners for sure.
Yeah, GG to both of you there. Just shattering my PB by 3 minutes, just casually.
That was a really terrible run for me. Kinda
Yeah,
disappointed,
I think
but
what
whatever.
Paso said, like the Penguin made a really big difference with Jumpy getting first. You got first Penguin, I think, didn't you, as well?
Alright, so I'll transition back to BRB. Up next will
Yeah.
be Lewis with normal 40 orb as opposed to 40 orb bot skips.
Yes.